Well, on your team, who would be the best partner for Arena and why?
I don't know. I think everyone it's about the same. It's just who I would have more fun with, honestly. Probably say Contracts. He's a very jovial guy, and we'll get along and have a lot of fun.
I think Jojo, of course, because he's a solo laner. I think solo laners have the best mechanics.
I think Busia would be the best partner for Arena because he's usually very positive, and it's good to just duo with someone positive.
Kenry, because he's very good in like skirmishes, very mechanically gifted in those situations. So I think he would come out clutch a lot of times.
I'd probably say Rich, just because, I mean, he was a pro Heroes of the Storm player, right? So he should translate over pretty well to another game mode as well, I feel like.
Okay, but who will be the worst and for why?
The worst? I don't know. I can't. You're like making me play my teammates. I can't name anyone.
Maybe Peter, because I don't think AD carries are that strong in that mod. So I would say because of his position, maybe him.
The worst? Damn, that's messed up.
Probably Eric. The treats. If he sees the angle, he wants to always go, but he would just ignore me and let me die. He would just engage and like they will kill me behind, but he would just like look at the engage. So I don't think we would be a good fit.
Worst would be probably Ayla, because he's a support, and supports just don't have hands, so.
They saw TSM so bad, can't go playoff in 10th place.
Whether we've been winning or not, like it's just an expectation for myself, at the very least, that we're winning these games.
TSM goes straight for the throat, and they take down Golden Guardians. TSM take down Team Liquid.
I just don't want to experience losing again. I want to avoid it at all costs. Yeah, I just want to win playoffs, and I want to make it to Worlds.
Now we can offset.
Yeah, like who?
Anyone.
Welcome back, everyone. We're all just talking about playoffs at this point in time and just being able to lock it in a scenario that I was personally interested in.
This one was crazy. Yeah.
Yes, is NRG.
Is possible.
Because they're a team that's in a 5-game win streak. They're winning up against the best teams, and hilariously enough, are having great head-to-head. They have a personal head-to-head versus Golden Guardians 2-0 and Cloud9 2-0. So if they're ever put in a tiebreaker situation like this, they win out in a head-to-head. So I put out the situation in which, of course, they're going out 2-0 against both the teams. It's pretty easy for them, 100 Thieves and Immortals, as you can see here. So very winnable games. And of course, the expectation is Golden Guardians and Cloud9 would lose out. That one is the difficult part about it.
For sure.
So in that scenario, NRG would come out as the first place team locked into top 2. And that's something that a lot of people are really struggling with, because the early portion of the split, they're the team that was struggling. But the fact that they're able to nail head-to-heads like this and also make that resurgence in the split puts them in this position.
Would be pretty cool. And yeah. I think another thing that's cool about this, as we move into this matchup just now, is if we just look at Cloud9, like they very much, I'm going to deselect all the games here. Cloud9 very much controls their own destiny, because if they win this game and their last game...
You got one more to deselect at the bottom.
It's already a C9 win, baby.
Okay.
Right there, baby.
Boom.
Okay, I was like, I don't know about that.
Then they'd obviously control their own destiny and lock #1. But interestingly enough, for TSM, like the top 6 start playoffs in the upper bracket. So if TSM is able to have a very good close and beat Cloud9 and Evil Geniuses, you can see in their ability to just hard lock the top 6, which is what I have selected here, they would actually lock top 6 if they win 2 games. So things are completely in their control and completely in Cloud9's control if you ignore every other matchup. The NRG one would be crazy, and that's going to be amazing if it happens. But these are the 2 scenarios that TSM and Cloud9 can
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you go at least tiebreaker percent top 2 and C9 wins this game, I think they lock at least a tiebreaker for top 2 if they win here. Yeah. Guaranteed tiebreaker if they win this game.
And their lock-in top 2 is also if they win this game.
C9, win a damn game, please.
That's one game. That's all we're saying.
Your top 2.
Now, that said, it might be harder than you might think, given that, actually, against top teams, C9 does not have a winning record this split, which we discovered when actually looking at NRG to gas them up.
Yeah, so I love that graphic that we rolled at the start of the day. 100 Thieves obviously doesn't look great on that. Ignore that. But TSM being at 4-4 and NRG being at 6-2 does speak to their ability to perform in big games. So this does look, when you look at the power of the name of the team, Cloud9 versus TSM, you think, oh yeah, easy one for Cloud9. Not necessarily based off these.
That's why I predicted TSM to win.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you did it.
Yeah. The only reason.
We all believe you.
Yeah, insane. That being said, we're going to be heading straight to the casters for this game. TSM versus Cloud9.
With Spica.
And Spica.
Whoa!
Spica, whoa!
Bienvenidos and welcome back. We got Spica on the TriCast with us and Kobe. Unfortunately, we did not give you the memo that we had these dystopian outfits on. Would you want one?
No, I'm good. Yeah. I mean, you guys look great, but, you know, I'm not really about that. I'm repping my team here. I'm repping my team. This is our, you know, FlyQuest Game Changer jersey for our Valorant team, so.
Hell yeah.
They're playing Toast team, right? I think.
Disguised, yeah.
Disguised.
No, it's for our Valorant team.
No, I mean, your Valorant team is playing Disguised Toast Valorant team.
Maybe.
Oh, you know, it's the Valorant Game Changers jersey. Well, awesome. Well, we are going into TSM C9. One of the things that we were actually talking about before the game started is just how the jungle landscape has kind of shifted up. It's mostly tank junglers, but I wanted to pitch something to you. What do you think about Lilia right now?
Oh, I love that champion.
Yeah.
Most famous.
Quite famous.
Well,
if you talk about Lilia, I might be the most famous Lilia player in the world. You know, honestly, I really like playing Lilia. I played a bit in scrims, and I feel like she's really fun. And she's actually one of the few carry junglers that have a lot of carry potential, and she's just really good in this meta. Because right now, I feel like the meta is just a lot of, you know, beefy champs, a lot of engage, and Lilia is really good against melee champs. So, I want to see some Lilia.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if any other junglers you would point to as being a prominent Lilia player. Is there any that come to your mind?
Not really. I don't really think
Darn.
so. It might just be me, yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to shop the Lilia propaganda. I talked to Armeo a bit about it. He's like, oh, I'd be down. But he wasn't down with the Trundle either. Because, like, I mean, Trundle into a bunch of tanks, you just subjugate them, right?
Yeah, but every jungler hates playing Trundle, except Santorin. He is the Trundle king.
Actually.
Yeah.
Such a boring champ. But Cloud9, they're actually trying to bribe the entire audience right now. I don't know if you guys were paying attention. They're handing out boxes of merch. Maybe you get one, Spica?
Maybe I get one,
Yeah. Turning the tides against TSM. Important matchup here, though, for TSM and Cloud9. Let's jump right into it. Crocodile banned by Cloud9 themselves. Fudge will be very happy.
Yeah, and the Kai'Sa ban on red side. There has been a lot of Kai'Sa on blue side. We first picked blue side, I think, almost every game recently. I think it's just, in general, very strong champion, not a lot of counters.
Static Shiv, Kai'Sa taking over multiple lanes. Kindred as well is another one of those permabans right now.
It's a Blaber special, I think. he's been playing really well on Kindred, so I think it's a respect ban.
Meanwhile, Cloud9. Blue side, you have a lot more freedom to answer with a little bit more targeted bans. They banned out the Blitzcrank already, and now they followed up with the Rakan here from Chime, which, even though his name is Chime, I feel like his Rakan is definitely one of his best champs.
Something that he was signature on, especially during his Spring Split run with TSM. Now, Cloud9, you already called out that the Kai'Sa is normally a blue pick ban, or blue side first pick, but the fact that Kai'Sa is already banned off the table, they're looking at other ones. Tristana is one that could be flexed for either Berserker and Emenes, and that's the choice they're going to go with.
What do you feel like the percentages are for Tristana mid? Because I feel like they're like 80% mid,
I feel
maybe
like it's like
10,
80,
20 bottom. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like Tristana as a champion is just really resource intensive, and especially very level intensive. You know, as you get more levels, you get more range. And I feel like mid lane just gets more resource right now.
And it's a lot easier to get those turret plates too, I feel like.
I mean, and the biggest thing is that Tristana just feels like there's no counter. There's not really one good pick that's into Tristana, so there's no need to flex it bot, right?
Is there going to be a battle over like AP jungle now with double AD possible solo laners locked in?
Yeah.
TSM grabbing Jayce for themselves, like Maokai or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly that's just the meta in general. Just people, just because like these AD mids are just so strong right now. I think junglers are forced to play AP jungle, right? So like we'll see like Maokai, some people play Tristana, and there's Rell as well. Just a lot of CC to enable them.
Another Ivern. Okay, we saw in your game the importance of warding for your Iverns. I was so happy for your team, for you being able to counter ward that and defend your camps.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to cheese me last game, but I kind of read him. But I think Ivern's actually one of the best champs when it's these tank jungle matchups.
Yeah.
Because these tanks have like no damage. They're usually really slow early game, so Ivern is just free to scale. And, you know, once it hits the mid game, Ivern is usually just a better champion.
And TSM locking in this Alistar. More engaged power for Chime. As we're heading into the second round of bans and picks here, things like AD carries that TSM still need to lock in for WildTurtle, I imagine that will be the focus for Cloud9 as they start to dwindle down on bans.
Yeah, pretty standard openings and answers here. You know, the Rell priority into Alistar counter is also one of our most popular exchanges. They ban away the Silas as well. not wanting to give over Alistar or Maokai ultimate. I feel like that is a necessity. Even if you just have one of these champions for TSM, like, oh, we picked Alistar, you've got to cover ban the Sylas because the ult is just so good to steal. But with that plus Maokai, definitely deserved.
It's not necessarily the most exciting jungle matchup for you to talk about, Spica, but at least there's still Ivern tricks that you get to kind of share your wealth of information on. A lot of the early clears that Ivern gets to do, you already called it out, like the fact that if you're not playing against like a skirmishing jungler, like a Xin Zhao or something, they can't really threaten you on the first clear.
Well, I mean, I think Ivern is very different from the traditional junglers just because you can't hit the camps. So the way you clear the camps is very different, and the timings is different, right? Because you have to touch the camps, you walk around, and then you have to collect it later. So, you know, there's a lot of things you could do. You usually get more timers than the enemy jungler if they're a tank. So I feel like Ivern should have more agency.
All right, let's see if Cloud9 follow this up with another Hauntzer ban. You know, he's mainly been paying tanks, but they throw the Kennen ban in here as well against him just to make sure, keep him on the tank theme. I feel like Kennen has gained a decent amount of priority, and since TSM are already showing Maokai Alistar, they're thinking maybe there's another AP top lane threat. So pretty deserved ban here, actually. Pretty good pick bans so far from both sides. And Turtle's been great on the Ashe. You know, landing a lot of these arrows initiation for TSM. He's been really consistent for TSM from the bottom side. But everybody knows Cloud9, Berserker, he is the main carry.
Yep,
as
looks
we have
like gonna be a Tristana mid.
And we also got cosplayers Viego and Gwen on the Rift here, shelling out some goodies for the rest of the audience. It's awesome to see. Man, that is an awesome paint job as well.
He is jacked.
Cross to that guy. Cloud9 are going to wrap out their composition with Fudge's Cassante, and that means TSM will get a chance for their counter pick into that matchup. Jax could be the answer. Gangplank another potential over here. For the most part, TSM do have a pretty much standard front-to-back composition. Ashe is great when you're just hitting the tanks in front over and over, and then you have that Jayce for extra poke as well. And because this is mostly AD threats from TSM, I imagine that this will be an AP-centric build from Bugi's Maokai.
And man, they still put Hauntzer on a tank, even showing pretty low damage with Jayce Ashe here. Ashe is even a lower DPS AD carry than most of the common ones. They still put him on a tank, so triple tanks here for TSM. I would definitely agree. Bugi's going to go way more of the AP Maokai, definitely demonic, possibly even more of the poke damage for that, so that they just have enough damage here to finish it out with TSM.
Okay. While we're getting into the Rift, Viva la LCS! LCS en Español is the official Spanish language stream of the LCS. This new viewing experience is live on LLA's Twitch and YouTube channels right now, so make sure you scan that QR code or go to lolesports.com to learn more.
All right, Spica, which one would you rather be if you're taking out all of the names, just looking at the team comps this time around?
I mean, honestly, just looking at draft, I feel like C9 just won by a landslide. I feel like they have the better jungler. I feel like Poppy is not too valuable this game. I feel like Tristana just has more DPS, and I think the biggest thing is that TSM just lacks damage, because I feel like Maokai right now, going full AP is very hard because they nerf, you know, his E damage, his ECD, just most of, you know, what makes him good at AP build, and a lot of people are going into tank now. So I feel like if he does go AP, it's not going to be super effective.
Yeah, it's just a splash, right? It's demonic, and then what the highest win rate in solo queue is, that we actually even saw yesterday, and a lot of people were making fun of him for, was the Imperial Mandate. But the Mandate, because the AP ratios were nerfed, the Mandate is the way to get that, you know, that flat little bit of extra damage. It's like these Maokai players are really reaching to try and squeeze some extra damage out. But like you're saying, it's not like assassination damage as we enter the Matrix here. It's like little bits of burn damage that really come from it. And it does seem difficult for this TSM comp to actually kill back line. And when you have Ivern shields for a Tristana and an Aphelios, it does seem pretty hard for TSM to get through that into the back lines. And so it kind of forces them to do front to back here, since they do have so many tank champions. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe TSM can get some early plays. They do have a lot of CC. Alistar and Maokai, sometimes you can get a lot of picks early on in the game, and maybe they can do some mid jungle stuff around mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing this game, at least for TSM, is to just get mid and bot ahead, right? I think Bugi has been playing really, really well around bot lane and getting bot lane ahead. A lot of times, you know, he's 3 camp, flashing over Dragon Pit, and then, you know, get the free first blood. So, you know, we'll see what he does this game. And then, you know, if he is able to accomplish that, I feel like TSM can definitely win.
Starting up on the Raptors, a little ward from Cloud9 side is going to spot out Bugi here, so TSM know that Cloud9 has that information on him. If he still wants to go for an aggressive clear, looking for an earlier clear timer and make his way towards the bottom side of the map, I imagine that he would have to skip over one of these 2 camps, but it looks like he's just going for the standard full clear.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to highlight the Ivern clear here because I just played Ivern. He's doing the same path as I did last game. So you touch blue buff, you Q over to Wolf, and you do Raptor's Gromp, and then you can opt into, you know, touching the Krugs as well. And then you smite on the Gromp, so you're going to, you know, finish your full clear around, like, I think, like 256.
Yeah.
It is very fast.
Yeah, it's insanely early. With the best feeling change, I feel like, they did to Ivern when they give him a whole bunch of the buffs, was that you can spam Q on all the camps now because you get the refund. It is so good, and that really sped up the clear because Ivern's basically all about travel time, walking around since you're just channeling the camps anyway. And here it is.
Smite the Gromp.
Smite it and keep on through with the clear.
Boom.
The other thing about this route is that you end towards bottom side, you know, and that's where you want to end anyway, since your top laner is a Cassante into a tank matchup.
Yeah.
So also puts Blaber in the correct position to play around Berserker, who has really been the big carry there for Cloud9, especially pushing mid too.
Yeah, and I feel like right now Bugi is kind of dangerous because they have a good idea of where he started, right? So now Blaber is just going to walk into his jungle, look at him, and he still has another smite charge, so, you know, he might be able to contest the blue or Gromp.
And with bottom lane pushing in, it's going to be really difficult for WildTurtle and Chime to be able to help Bugi defend that last camp that he's got on his mind. 700 HP on this blue buff. Blaber would have to at least use his passive first, but he's going to go for the Gromp, channeling it. Oh, gets interrupted by Bugi.
Looks like we're going to have a fight here.
Yes, sir. We're going to have a big brawl in the jungle, but it's so much damage onto Bugi. It's first blood over to Zven, and their prize is that Gromp.
That was actually a really nice timing from Zven on his crash down there. Right as Chime went in with the Alistar, Zven lands the crash down. They get the double buffs. This already, only 340 into the game, is such a massive lead for Cloud9. Over 1,000 gold. They stole the double buffs away as well. This looks painful, and considering this TSM comp doesn't have a lot of damage for later either.
Yeah.
Spica.
I mean, I just want to point out Berserker just flash over the wall to 100 HP comp. He's trying to help out his team there.
Giga chat stuff.
But yeah, like I was saying, I think this matchup is very hard for Maokai. Just because, you know, there's a huge clear speed gap, and I feel like Ivern's just really good into Maokai's kit as well.
So Blaber comes in, he pops the plant, so he's got vision of Bugi, goes in for the channel. And here's what we're talking about. Zven gets a good crash down timing as Chime goes in. He's already in the air, gets the interrupt there on Chime. They burst down Bugi, and then bottom of the screen, Berserker flashes over.
He's there to help.
He's like, here, guys, keep on killing him, right?
He knows.
The sly little smirk there.
He was ready with the purple gun, just in case they wanted to get an extra root there.
Yeah. I do want to put you in the more difficult scenario, though, Spica. It's like, try and pilot, you know, TSM comms or TSM, you know, what do we do with how difficult it looks like the setup is now, both with the comp and with the way the early game is going?
Well, I mean, one good thing about what happened there is that now Berserker has no flash.
Aha.
So you want to gank him, you want to play through bot lane. I think their bot 3-3 is still, you know, there's potential there. So I think just want to take bot side control and see what happens.
This could be bad for TSM. Bugi was seen coming down on the ward, so they called Blaber and Zven up for a counter gank here. That ward, oh, look at all those wards through the red quadrant of Bugi's jungle. Maokai was seen coming over, so Cloud9 know. Bugi's on that top side. They already defended mid. They can just collapse right back down to Dragon. And on top of that gold lead, get the first objective. Now it's just on Emenes to avoid.
He's good.
Yeah, simple rocket jump away, getting out of range of a flash W from Bugi. They're going to try to make their way towards the Dragon. It's still only 600 at this point in the game, so if Bugi can get in there, maybe they're going to chance for it. 1,400 HP on the Dragon. Blaber's in a bit of trouble. He's split up from Berserker. He can't aggressively walk in because he has no flash from before, and TSM just brute force their way into the pit. and they're going to look for more. Zven is forced to get the hell out of there with the crash down. He makes it out alive, unless Hauntzer wants to get spicy with a flash of his own, but TSM got all that they came for.
That's huge for TSM. Mountain Dragon takes so long to kill. It's the tankiest of the dragons, most health. So TSM, even though Bugi was Sheen on top side, they just walk everybody through mid. They power over to the dragon, force Blaber into the corner, get the kill and the objective. I mean, we talk about what do you need as TSM. Yep. That's a delivery right there. Thank you very much on a silver platter.
Yeah, I also just want to point out that Hauntzer also TP mid. I think a lot of times he is playing more the utility role, and I think, you know, holding that TP, trying to help our team when they're in a bad position is a good play.
Sacrifice for the team as always. Fudge is coming in.
But Hex Flash channel from Bugi now puts Fudge in a dangerous position. He's forced to run away from the tower. Thankfully, he is a tank. He's got a little bit more HP to burn. Chime looking for a flank of his own.
He's looking.
I was really thinking that we were going to get something right then and there, but now he makes his approach. Can he clip him out of the rocket jump? Yes, he does! Flash right on top of it! It's a flash for flash, but being able to trade support flash for mid flash is an advantage every day.
Yeah, that was really good, actually. Both those flashes were very good. Chime, because he wanted to interrupt the timing on the rocket jump, but Emenes also knows a headbutt is coming right after, so uses his as well. All right. TSM got a couple of moves here left in their pockets. Hauntzer as well, you mentioned, like, it's only a bit of CS on top side that they lose out on, and it's a tank-on-tank matchup, so not too bad, having expended his teleport towards mid and helping out with that team play. Now, though, we're looking towards Rift Herald as it's about to come up. Still no level 6s for the junglers, and Zven is early on this invade.
Yeah, the control ward in that red quadrant jungle, so they have all eyes on the members of TSM trying to get into the pit. As Zven, Hex flashing over the wall, but he might be cut off. He's going to walk over to Berserker for safety. Meanwhile, Berserker still waiting on his flash that is about to come up. And TSM are going to try to start up this Rift Trail. Do Cloud9 have a chance to contest here?
I mean, Zven's so low. He got chunked pretty hard off that, but he's still here.
Yeah, I mean, I think TSM has, you know, 5 people on the top side of the map, while Fudge is hitting bot tower, so I think should be TSM's hero. And, you know, the C9's goal right now is to try to just stall time and, you know, give as much play to Kaysan as possible.
Nature's Grasp from Bugi clips out Zven, no flash there, and Spica is trying to get into it. Oh, the Rift Herald Hauntzer almost falls to the Shelly, but TSM is able to secure it.
TSM are dominating them, actually.
What the heck?
The neutral objectives back to back here. Cloud9, like you say, they make the call. Fudge stays bottom. Fudge is pushing bottom side. There's, you know, minions dying to the tower, and looks like he got a turret plate, but Rift Herald and kill for TSM.
All right, well, Emenes doesn't have flash, so he's got to be careful about how far he steps up here. He's got Blaber right behind him for safety. Bugi had already used his ultimate, so no danger there as they push this wave in. Maybe they can look for a rotation to the bottom quadrant of the jungle where there's still camps, unless Bugi decides. Now he's just going to Hex Flash back to safety. They're looking for the dive because Cassante was already in there. The crash down from Zven. It's a lot of damage. The Buster Shot from Emenes, but no one goes down from TSM.
That Fudge taking another little adventure behind mid tower. His whole health bar
spot right between the mid T1 and mid T2.
Ignite used there, doesn't go down, so avoids death, but still the onslaught from Cloud9. Emenes trying to get another demolish proc and will be able to finish that plate.
Things are really tense between these two teams. It seemed like Cloud9 was about to have a huge snowball at the beginning of the game. TSM being able to answer back, but now this dive could get dicey. The minion wave has already died from Cloud9, so they have to wait on the next one.
Looks like they've got some defensive support coming. Chime up the lane, Bugi coming to follow as well. So I think Turtle is past the worst of it here, past the possible threat, dealt with the minion wave, killed it off before Zven's able to get in position, and TSM just fine here, really stabilizing. But these super deep wards for Cloud9, though, they've been positioning all around mid lane, keep having Fudge come from behind the tower, keep on re-invading, tracking jungle here, so that they still have that same gold lead. But Rift Herald is still in Bugi's hands, so TSM have an option here to try and get a little bit more.
Yeah. Spica, from both teams' perspectives, how do they want to set up for this next dragon that's coming up in 10 seconds?
I mean, honestly, so far looking at the game, I feel like it's going to be hard for TSM to fight. I think they have to look for a number advantage just because right now, I think C9 has 3 lane crowds. If the game is just, you know, laning 1v1, 2v2, C9 should be able to push 3 lanes. So, you know, I really like what TSM is doing there, sending 3 people bot, 4 spot lane pro, and then you could go up river and look for a fight from there.
And Cloud9 looks like they're making the call. Emenes taking turret plates while TSM are focusing on bottom side.
The crash doesn't take out the turret quite just yet, but they have enough damage between all members of TSM as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow from WildTurtle is just going to stop Fudge in his tracks. The dragon is still not started up by TSM as they go for a tower for tower trade. Emenes not being able to take out the top turret quite just yet. He's going to continue the split push here, and Cloud9, do they want a chance, a contest here? It would be dangerous.
Yeah, I think they just keep Emenes top side, but they're going to go for a teleport.
Really? Keeper's Verdict winding up, but if Hauntzer doesn't hit anyone, Fudge had the unstoppable. But Bugi slays the dragon, secures it for TSM. 2 dragons to the name. Do they want to fight this? 5 members against 4. Cloud9 are outnumbered here, but they're doing more damage than TSM! And Emenes with the flank. WildTurtle is completely isolated. He gets taken out by the members of Emenes and Fudge. Cloud9, even though they didn't get the dragon, they pulled a hoodwink over TSM.
Yeah, huge engage from Zven there, you know, a resident Yuumi player. Yeah. I feel like, you know, every time I see him play Rell, he's actually been playing really well. A lot of huge engages, even in the loss, I think, a few games ago. Yeah. He has some good plays, so yeah, really good fight by C9.
Yeah, another big one there from Zven. And then, even though Emenes did stay for a while on top side and get the top turret, coming in later at the bottom side of the river, cut him off, was able to get the extra kill. And since Fudge is able to Cassante over the wall there, Cloud9 getting a bunch more money, even though they give up this dragon. And here's another look at it. As you can see on the minimap, Emenes says, hey, I'm going to finish this tower on top side. You guys handle the 4v5 until I get there. And this is what you're talking about. Zven's looking, goes for the Rell engage, gets 3 of them while Fudge Cassante ults the Maokai over the top. And then WildTurtle separated with 2 Cloud9 solo laners right next to him. So they completely dissect the TSM setup.
It's a 3,000 gold lead overall for Cloud9 at 13 minutes into the game. So Cloud9 still have the wallet difference on their side. And with more towers to take on the bottom side, Cloud9 can continue extending that gold lead. But from TSM's perspective, what do they need to do, Spica, to be able to turtle in and kind of hold on for this team fighting composition?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like right now it's going to be really hard. Ivern already got his completed items. I think the only hope right now is for Insanity to just smurf. I think Jayce is not doing, you know, bad, and I think Jayce is honestly most of the damage in this comp. So, you know, you just want to give more goals to Jayce and then fight around him.
Yeah, everything else is more like slow burn damage. You know, you got Sunfire, Poppy, Demonic coming soon on Maokai, and Ashe Arrows trying her best. But other than that, yeah, Cloud9 here, it looks like push out on both sides. They've got such a healthy gold lead here. Fudge with a Sunfire of his own heads right back towards bottom side, and since top tower's already taken, they can just have Emenes shove out first and then roam in to go with these invades. 4-person invade for Cloud9 off the top half, where they've already taken down the defense of the tower.
Yeah.
Then moves in, trying to continue to control this area here.
It's the aftermath of what happens after a tower is felled. You lose control as Cloud9 are starting to push their vision line into the quadrant of TSM's jungle.
I say maybe the one opening for TSM, maybe they can find an angle for a turtle Ashe arrow on someone separated and be able to focus that person down. Looks like Cloud9 have done a good job grouping up though. They're not giving anybody a separated angle here. Rift Trail, they'll just set up 5-person, Daisy's out, Fudge in the front, Zven here looking for an engage on the Rell, and that's just too dangerous for TSM to walk into.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like C9 has been playing this game pretty smart. You know, when giving up objectives, they always try to trade for something. And now, you know, they got all the go and they got all the lane crowd. They just, you know, take the easy hero.
For TSM, their only hope at this point, since they've got the first 2 dragons, they could contest for Soul Point. It's 2 dragons away. This 3rd one of the game coming up in 1 minute and 30 seconds. I imagine that once Demonic Embrace is completed for Bugi, TSM's game plan, they got to get into the river first. They need to set up vision. They need to get those saplings going, so it makes it harder for Cloud9 to walk into the river.
All right, 1 minute, 10 seconds left on that setup. Trying to push out topside first. Emenes with the Tristana with Static Shiv. Really hard to push faster than that. Tristana annihilates those waves, so he's going to get the early push and then recall to come join the team as Cloud9 will try and move in here. Those saplings, though, will do a lot of work for TSM. Bugi doing his best to set them up. He does have the demonic done already. Try and just create this minefield around the dragon.
Yeah, but the thing about this matchup is that Daisy can clear the saplings. He's like a mine detector. So, you know, I think Sina can easily clear this, and
Bugi puts back up another one, but the shields come out and they don't do much damage at all. Scratching the surface here on Zven.
And now I see what you mean about this being just the more favorable matchup. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide. A little bit of a field goal right in the middle. Cloud9 able to dodge out on that engage as they summon the Rift Herald to get this crash into the mid wave. They're evaporating the wave as fast as possible. The crash will be guaranteed. Will Cloud9 want to continue the chase? It should just be enough to get this wave to crash so they can move their way into the river first and bully TSM off.
They really want that second charge, and they get it. Fudge playing the front line here. You can tell, just small scratches on Cloud9. TSM not able to really make a dent here. See if they can try anything with Dragon up. Cloud9 looks like they'll just retreat right back over to it. Ivern over the wall. Blaber was able to go get red first. All right, control ward's down. Here it is. TSM, can they do anything? Insanity, maybe land some poke first.
Teleport coming in from Cloud9 onto the back. Cloud9 trying to block out vision with these bushes here. TSM using Hauntzer to step up first. 5,000 HP, 4,000 HP onto the Dragon. Keeper's Verdict knocks away Daisy, but I'm pretty sure Blaber can just summon right on back, so not an effective one at that. 2,000 HP onto the Dragon. Cloud9 burning it down as fast as they can. Blaber secures it. No soul point for TSM. The engage from, oh my goodness, the damage from Cloud9 is just eviscerating TSM. What can they do but just marvel at the power of Cloud9? WildTurtle trying to fight on back, but Berserker is able to take him down with ease. Cloud9 just destroyed them.
Zven Rell finds another one. Even though he gets Poppy W'd there, halfway through, still got the ultimate off, still got the big grouping, and Berserker Aphelios, blue gun, splash damage, doing a lot of work there. Gets the ult, gets the Q follow, and Cloud9, wow. They're not even breaking a sweat here, Spica.
I mean, honestly, I feel like TSM should just trade it there. Turtle had like no mana and they're disadvantaged. I feel like maybe they feel like it's the last hope.
Yeah, because if you do have low damage team comp, you don't scale very well without having some big damage later. And you know, Daisy is always going to leash right there. Just gets teleported right back to you, so she goes back in. But here, look at this one. Fudge on the top side, trying to stack up Qs onto Chime, and Rell's able to get it started. Berserker wiping them, and after that damage is done, it's just kind of a scatter for TSM. Chime tries to go back in. Emenes already rocket jumping forward there, though. Goomba stomping them. And with this massive gold lead, plus stopping that hope of the Dragon Soul for TSM, Cloud9 kind of crushing.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Cloud9 are in such a commanding position at this point. Nice. Let's go, Hauntzer.
Got some assists, though. All right, another tower down. They're just going to keep marching forward. Emenes, rocket jump for a little bit extra. It's a mid push here. Maybe you can get an objective bounty for TSM. Looks like they call it off, though, and they have to go for some defense.
And Cloud9 just making great strategical moves on the map, taking turrets with ease thanks to the power of Tristana. Bugi looking for a big flank. Nature's Grasp could do some major work here. Hauntzer engaging first, looking for the targets here. They get a massive stun up, and Blaber's falling by the wayside, but he's still got the shields, and Emenes can now just rocket jump forward. TSM was a great attempt to look for a miracle engage, but there's just not enough damage in the tank to back it up against Cloud9. 3 members gone for TSM. Cloud9, they could do major damage, maybe even look to end the game.
All right, 20 minutes. We're inside the base. Cloud9, inhibitor down. All right, there's 15 seconds left on 3 members. Yeah, just go for it.
Speed run it, baby. 20 minutes on the clock here. It would be one of the fastest games we've had so far. TSM, last-ditch effort, last Hail Mary to defend against all 5 members of Cloud9, but they're just on to the Nexus. They're hitting it. Every auto attack sinking into the base. Cloud9, a massive showing of dominance against TSM.
That was brutal to watch.
How did Matt lose in 16 minutes? That's the one thing on my mind.
16-47. Yeah. That's a feat. Cloud9, though, you know, props to them. Even though TSM got a couple early objectives, they still get right back on track, finishing just over 20 minutes right inside, off those 3 kills, straight through the inhibitor, and on Nexus. C9 keeping up that pace.
Yeah, I think really clean game by C9. You know, they had a little bit of blunder on the hero, but, you know, overall, I really like the way they draft. Really like the way how they play on Tristana, and, you know, they snowball well.
Yeah. For TSM, the lose streak continues to slide for them as Cloud9, they are showing what kind of form that they need to be in fighting shape for playoffs starting next week. And if they can continue having form like that, I mean, my goodness, this was almost the best engage you could get as TSM, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, I feel like TSM kind of made the game a little hard for themselves, you know, with the setup, but props to Cloud9 for absolutely demolishing here. At this point, they're also so far ahead. It's pretty easy to turn that back around, immediately jump right back in. Fudge having a little bit of fun this game, this time around on the Cassante.
I want to get your thoughts here, Spica. There is a lot of, you know, lane gaps in this game, but who do you think deserves like the recognition for the biggest lane gap?
Honestly, I think everyone C9 pretty much play well. I would say from the eyeball, I feel like Zven played the best just because he has some flashy engages. I feel like everyone did their job. You know, Fudge played really well in lane. He uses advantage to help mid.
Yeah.
Blaber played well in the early game to facilitate his team. I'll just give it to Zven because I don't want another jungler getting, you know, play of the game. That kind of hurts my ego a little bit.
Gotta make sure that everyone else looks bad compared to you. Understandable. Well, Zven, that's the pog vote from Spica, but we're gonna be joining Emily, Fudge, and Emenes on stage for a Verizon post-game interview.
Hello, thank you. I'm joined by Emenes and Fudge after, I believe, your fastest victory all split.
Not bad,
congratulations.
not bad. Thank you.
Not bad.
You played well. You played well, Emenes.
Yeah,
for once.
I think so too.
Joke. You play well all the time.
Do you agree with Spica? So you heard Spica coming out trying to name player of the game. I believe he named Zven. Do you agree with his assessment of this game?
Just Spica always capping.
Emenes has a big ego when it comes to player of the game. For me, I just play top lane and play tanks, so I don't mind too much who gets player of the game. I do think Zven actually played very well, and people generally don't give player of the game to support. You played well as well. You played well too. But it's kind of hard for supports to get player of the game, but I do think Zven probably deserved it. Honestly, everyone was just playing pretty standard, and they just sort of lost every fight.
So
I agree.
You agree?
Yeah.
It goes to Zven.
Yeah.
You did play well.
Yeah. Of course, man.
In looking at, obviously, you guys have not had recent performances that you might have wanted. This game was an absolute domination from the first to the Nexus fall. But what has been going on internally? What do you think looking ahead to playoffs? Because you clinched top 2 with this win, so congratulations on that as well.
Woo!
Gotta get the crowd going. It's great doing interviews with you.
I'm the GOAT.
What do you think the biggest problem is right now that you kind of need to solve to as you're looking ahead to playoffs?
Blabberinting.
Yeah, griefing tempo for Blaber.
Yeah, I keep playing for jungle, and my jungle doesn't carry, so.
Yeah, always. I will procure no matter what. Of course.
My top lane jungle proximity is the lowest out of anyone in the league.
I did know
actually,
that.
every lane is the lowest, I think, out of everyone in the league. I'm pretty sure. So it's just jungle diff. We hope that jungle plays well. Blaber played well today on the Ivern, pressed E very well. He learned it from me, and we won the game very swiftly.
I think he's good with 3, you know? Maokai,
Yeah.
Ivern.
So you would have, oh yeah, Maokai and Ivern is also true, yeah. Okay. I mean, he's an early MVP candidate. According to the community.
What about Emenes?
Our, you know, yesterday something.
Yeah, yesterday's game actually. Never mind.
Something. Anyway, thank you. I will appreciate if you guys give MVP. Moving on.
There you go. Emenes making his case for MVP. Thank you both so much for joining me on stage, and we will see you on the other side of the break.
Hello and welcome to the MasterCard Player of the Week interview. I'm standing by with Palafox, who picked it up for Week 5. Congratulations! Woo! Is this your first Player of the Week?
Yeah.
Check out your statue that you got then.
Nice. Different jersey, but it's still really cool, you know? Yeah.
I'm glad I'm finally getting a chance to talk with you. I tried to talk to you multiple times last week, but I got contracts in Dokla because you were sick.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now? You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I still got some like fluid in my lungs, but that's, you know, chilling now. Other than that.
Do you think fluid in the lungs makes you play better? Because you were popping off last week.
I think I kind of just had like an easy week, not gonna lie. And then it was pretty easy week.
You say it's a pretty easy week, but it was your first 3-0 as a team. Your laugh. Why are you laughing?
No, it's true. It's our first 3-0.
Did you feel like you guys played better last week, or was it actually just like opponent difficulty or something?
I thought we played better last week. Like, even though I was sick, I thought my comms were a lot better. Like, something I've been like actively working on. Because like, let's say when I was on C9, I got like experience like listening to like people's comms, and it was like at the end of the day, like when you listen to the best players' comms, like you're not gonna make excuses for like why something is or isn't called. You're gonna take it for yourself. Like, you're gonna do it yourself if you really want to win, you know?
Cool. Right before we started this interview, you actually asked the analyst desk who's all around here, what would it take for you to get All-Pro? Pitch yourself. Right now, the fans at home, the media who's watching, other players and coaches who are watching, why does Palafox deserve an All-Pro vote?
I think I've consistently shown that like I'm really important in our team's wins. So yeah, I mean, I would say that there's even some mid laners in All-Pro that like aren't even nearly as important to their team as I am. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What about the other mid laners then who shouldn't get a vote? You know, they're good, but like who would be on Palafox's ballot if he can't vote for himself?
It would honestly be Jojo, number 1. Obviously, he's like super important to his team's wins. Then number 2 would probably be Gory. And then 3, I think you can slot in. Honestly, I would argue that Insanity's a lot more important to TSM's wins than C9's, but you know, that's up for debate, right?
What do you think it is with NA mids this year, kind of getting some respect back in their name?
No, I don't know what to say. It's just like, you know, we're playing our game. I don't think we've ever really been like that bad. It's just like a lot of the NA mids tend to be on like really awful teams, and the import mids are on really good teams. Guys, it's like, and scouting in NA is like awful. So like, of course that NA mids are never gonna look like that good unless they're like on really good teams to start with. Like, oh, I mean, like also like this year with TSM, right? Like literally with Insanity, their team synergy is like insane. So even though he might not be like, let's say necessarily like the best laner, what he adds to that team is like so much more than like just laning or just like, yeah.
Yeah, to the point about scouting, I think that makes sense that people just stick names together sometimes and they don't think about how they're actually going to play off each other.
Yeah.
And finding people to step up. And obviously you getting a Player of the Week, an important member, shot calling sounds like, doing more communication. Thank you so much for the interview. Palafox, anything to say to your fans before you head out?
Hopefully we can get 3 more wins for you guys this week, and someone else on my team gets Player of the Week too.
You don't just want them for yourself?
No, I want at least one of my teammates to get All-Pro, and I feel like if we win all 3 games, someone will get an All-Pro on my team.
This is why you're the best, Palafox. That's why you're such a good teammate, good leader, wants the best for his teammates, not all for himself. Thank you so much for the interview. See you guys later.
Essa aqui tu não aprendeu na PEN não, irmão. Essa aqui tu não aprendeu. In Ace for PEN Gaming.
The celebrations are always fantastic in the CB Low.